Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, here we go. Subway Sports Talk. My name is Peter Kennedy, and I'm your host. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into SST on Apple Podcast app, Spotify, and now on YouTube. Joined with me, of course, on Subway Sports Talk, the day of the Subway Series. We had to chat with the designated hitters themselves. My guy, first and foremost, one of the most tenured co-hosts in Subway Sports Talk history, Alec Argento. What's up, brother?
So, first of all, I am the most tenured co-host in Subway Sports Talk history.
Well, I guess if we're talking Subway Sports Talk, it's actually a tie between many people. If we're going back to the OG Sports Blog New York podcast, John Lucas Duffy has you beat.
Is Duffy still doing it these days?
That's true. That's true. You might have him now. You might have him back on the shout out to Duffy, who also is missing my basketball game tonight. So he's 0 for 2 tonight. He just got his longest tenured spot taken away, and he's missing my game. Anyways, also here, designated hitter himself, Andrew Calagna. What's up, bro?
How's it going?
Going wonderful, man. We're out here, baseball season, second half. The Yankees have a 200 plus run differential. They still are hanging on to the best record in the AL East. The Yankees are, best record in the AL. The Mets are hanging on to the best record in the NL East. Only 1.5 games on the Braves. So every game right now, extremely important for the Mets. The Yankees, you can argue, can play with their food a little bit, though it's not usually a habit you want to get into. So the plan for today's podcast, we're talking about the Mets and Yankees right before this trade deadline, if they're going to make any more moves before it's time to get that final roster set up, obviously before the expanded rosters close to the playoffs. And then also we got Subway Series talk. And lastly, we're going to do a quick little last words at the end. That'll be a surprise for everybody. All right. So, Alec, I'll go to you first here, because basically what I want to get from you right now is the thought process of a Yankees fan. You got the trade deadline. You got holes, if you will. They haven't mattered much yet. So what are you thinking about when you think about this team, where they are right now, where do you want them to be by the time the deadline's up?
Is it weird to say I just don't really care right now? Like, it's been,
I don't know. You tell me. You're the fan.
We're in the doldrums of the season. It's before the trade deadline. You have a 13-game lead in the division, or 12 games, whatever it is at this point. I'm waiting till after the trade deadline. I'm going to be fine with whatever happens. They'll probably trade somebody. They probably won't trade somebody on the margins, like, a random like IKF level player. They're probably going to get somebody that's of impact. They're in a point of the season where they're hitting their first skid, and this is the first one that they've had all season. If you consider the fact that it's like carryover from right before the All-Star game, and even so, they just beat one of the hottest teams in baseball in the Orioles, which is so crazy to say. But they won 2 out of 3 there. I'm waiting to see what they do. They can lose a couple series and it doesn't matter. You're waiting to see if you get Castillo or Soto. You're probably not getting Soto, if we're being honest with ourselves, because Cashman's not going to give up the house to sign someone that he's going to have to pay, $1 billion to. So just waiting and see right now. I'm looking forward to a Subway Series, as I always do. The Yankees will probably lose. They typically lose the Subway Series, and especially when you have Scherzer and Walker on the bump. But those games mean more for the Mets than they mean for the Yankees. The Mets have to win their division. They only have like a little squeaky lead in that division right now with someone rearing up their ugly head behind them. So that's how I'm feeling about the Yankees right now. It's all blasé right now.
You want to hear what I just heard in the last 2 minutes? I'm Alec, and I'm cool. My team is so good. I don't even care if we lose, because we're going to lose.
That's exactly what I said.
I'm not even going to be mad about it, because my team is.
It's exactly what I said. You hit the nail on the head, Peter. It's exactly what I just said.
Well.
Like the teacher in Charlie Brown, but exactly. But I honestly couldn't disagree with Alec more about the sense of urgency here. Mostly
contrarian Drew.
It's not contrarian Drew. It's they can't beat the fucking Astros, and the Astros are a half game behind them for the best record in the American League. And if you're going to beat the Astros in the playoffs, you need to have home field advantage. You need to continue to win series. You can't be going into the American League East is done. The American League East doesn't matter. I'm not concerned about getting in. Hell, they can get it as a wild card right now. I don't care about the title. I care about being able to beat the Astros, because they are clearly the 1A to the Yankees. The Yankees cannot beat them. And so far in the regular season, they're 2-4. And the only reason why they beat the Astros, because Aaron Judge pulled a rabbit out of his ass for those two walk-off games. One game which we were happened to be at, which was again top five games regular season games I've ever been to in my life. Especially with Michael King going down and Aroldis Chapman and Jonathan Loaisiga not being themselves and them having a difficult time coming back from injury. Like, the bullpen is absolutely needs to be addressed. So it's not just getting a marginal guy, it's about getting a high leverage guy. So I hope they go out and let's get David Robertson in there for a third time around.
I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking. We don't need a 42-year-old. Yeah, but he's
like 37, but he's great.
There's no pressure. He was out of baseball for 3 years. We're not going to trade any prospects for a David Robertson.
You wouldn't trade top prospects for David Robertson. But he would still be there. He can handle New York. He can still be that guy. He's not going to be the closer, but I feel much better about him right now in the 7th inning than I would Chapman or Loaisiga right now. Because all you have is Holmes and Peralta. Those are the only two reliable guys you have in the bullpen right now. And then I would also
have Schmidt coming back up. You'll be fine with the bullpen because Marinaccio and JP Sears, whoever.
You want those guys? You want those guys getting big outs in the playoffs? I don't think so.
You'll have people coming back
that's
from
poppycock.
By then.
That is poppycock.
First of all, you're talking about the Astros right now. Like, we're going to play them for the rest of the season. We're done playing them for the rest of the season, as far as I'm aware. I believe that's the case there. So yeah, it's a moot point until October, which was my whole point in the first place. Is that nothing matters now until then. The Yankees can control their own destiny. Like, I know it's crazy to say because we're so far out of the season, but I'm just saying, for all intents and purposes, it's just take care of business and you'll figure it out from there. What I'm worried about is getting that bye. That now that we have the bye in the new playoff format, they're going to get the bye. If they're either going to beat the Astros or they're not going to beat the Astros, it doesn't matter at this point. You
need home field advantage. You need home field advantage.
They've had home field advantage in the regular season this year, and it hasn't mean jack shit. So it is what it is. They're either going to pull it out, and like you always say, they're going to slay the dragon, or they're not going to slay the dragon. That's it. They're either going to do it or they're not. And in terms of the bullpen, the Yankees have proven for the past 1,000 years that whoever comes into their bullpen is going to be a rock star. And Chapman is sucked right now. We all know that. Chapman's not going to be in your playoff rotation. Like, if he hasn't figured it out by then, he's not going to get any high leverage situations. If you go into the playoffs and you have 3 to 4 solid bullpen guys, you feel good because nobody else has 3 to 4 solid bullpen guys like that the Yankees have. So if Schmidt can figure it out, I don't know what King's timeline is. I know he's out for
he's out for the year. He's done.
But is he out for play? But is he out also for the playoffs?
His elbow's shattered. He's done.
I didn't see exactly what happened, but I'm not worried about it. You'll find out. They'll trade for somebody. They'll trade for a Wandy Peralta, or they'll trade for a Clay Holmes. They'll trade for somebody nobody's ever heard of before, and they'll turn him into an all-star. This is what the Yankees do. If I was worried about something,
but they still have to trade for somebody.
But they will. But they will. If they don't, they can promote somebody from AAA and turn them into a rock star. Like, Clark Schmidt has not been bad. If you give him more opportunities, he'll be very good. Ron Marinaccio was the same exact thing. Who the hell was this guy? He was awesome this year so far. He's had hiccups here and there, but like after he figured out his thing, this is what the Yankees do. I'm not worried about the bullpen because they will always figure out the bullpen. If you want to say you're worried about IKF, sure, I get it. If you say they need another starter, if you want to trade for Castillo, sure. But it's just they're gonna do something. They have a gluttony of prospects right now to trade for.
Yeah. No, I know. And again, if I were to make 3 moves, I would get that bullpen help. I would get Joey Gallo out of there and get a replacement outfielder, and I would go get Luis Castillo. Those are my 3 big moves. Maybe you could even do, like, if you're gonna pick up in my hypothetical trade with Robertson, you get Ian Happ to replace. So switch hitting, corner outfielder can play center field, and that could be your replacement for Joey Gallo. Again, you don't need, and he's a great contact guy. He steals some bags. He's kind of fits into, that the lineup guy. He doesn't strike out either. So I feel like he's a great replacement for a Joey Gallo type. And obviously Luis Castillo kind of speaks for himself. But and I know we're talking about picking up who else people should pick up. And I know the Mets made that move for Vogelbach. As far as what else they can do, I think that They definitely need a left-handed reliever. Obviously, Rodriguez didn't work out, and they jettisoned Jason Shreve, so they definitely need a left-handed reliever. I would also like to see him another bench bat, or maybe be able to address third base at all, because clearly Escobar and whatever JD Davis is doing is not really enough. Maybe you can, get a starting caliber player for third base and go from there. But there's not really much else the Mets can do offensively, I think, in my opinion, to get better.
100%. I mean, I'd be fine riding out Escobar. I would, because he has a track record of being like way better, not way better, but better than he is right now. He's probably not the all-star he was a year or two ago, but he's much better than he's been this year. So I'm kind of fine riding him out. Plus, he's a really good defender. Vogelbach is interesting because he seems like the type of guy who can come into a new place energized and, kind of light some sparks off the rip. And he clearly already made rounds on social media and alike with his rounding of third, scoring on that hit, which I'm like, I actually typed out a message to you guys and then forgot to send it. What was that? All of a sudden, is Vogelbach in New York and now he's getting posted on MLB main social media? I'm sure he's rounded third before in his career. Now, I guess that's the ticket of being in New York. So I guess I'm fine with that. Vogelbach, he's going to be a spark guy, and he can't be worse than what the DHs have been for the Mets this year. So I'm fine with it. It's just a little lukewarm for the Mets on maneuvers right now. But like you said, Drew, I don't know what else is really going to go down for them. Bullpen help, yes. Another arm should come back, hopefully, with DeGrom. Their pitching has been fine, but the hitting's been a struggle. It's just hard to find real upgrades.
I mean, it's entirely possible that, the Red Sox now have kind of fallen back to fourth place. Who knows? Maybe there's a blockbuster in there. You get Rafael Devers at best case scenario, something crazy.
He ain't re-signing with them. So
no, he's not. Or JD Martinez. JD Martinez is a free agent at the end of the year. You could go out and get JD Martinez or somebody like that. I feel like the Red Sox, that slide right there is opening them up to possibly dealing some guys and whining and dining. And there was, I think I sent in this group chat too. There was a rumor that maybe even Bogarts would be available because he has an option to opt out after this year too. So
and he's opting out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to opt out too. So there's three big bats up in Boston that could potentially be on the market as well. That would fit anywhere with the Mets. Doesn't matter. You could slide Bogarts to third base. You could put Devers at third base. JD Martinez can be your DH. I think it's all well and good there. I think that there's definitely potential for upgrade for the Mets offensively.
Right. I guess it's just a question of, does that happen right now, or if that's happening in the offseason, right? Where it's going to be a bit more easy for those Red Sox front office people to be like, okay, it's time, send them. We're not paying them, get rid of them. They might have that inkling of hope of a wild card and who knows in their back pocket right now. So we'll see what happens there. Quickly on, because we don't have a lot of time today because of me, but quickly on the Subway series specifically here, just a 2-game set. I kind of miss playing 2 3-game sets, but I'll take it. Well, I guess we'll take what we can get here. 2-game set right here. Taijuan Walker versus
Montgomery.
Jordan Montgomery, and then Domingo Germán versus Max Scherzer in game 2.
That's an L for the Yankees. Game 2 is an L.
Pitching matchup, slight edge to the Mets from the starting perspective, but obviously that doesn't mean that much. Alec already said he expects the Mets to win. Drew, what do you think here? You think we get some good games at minimum?
Absolutely. I think game 2 is going to get dominated by the Mets, but I feel like game 1 will be close, and probably the Yankees. I think it'll be a split. Yankees, you got the first game, Mets will win the second game.
Classic scenario.
I bet you game 1 high scoring game. I don't think Taijuan Walker is as good as his stats look, and I don't think he's ever been that good. I like Taijuan Walker, but I think he's going to get rocked around a little bit at the stadium, and Montgomery will be 4 or 5 runs or so, and the bullpen will go up. I think the Mets win both games. I think the first game is a high scoring game, 6-5 or up. And I think that the second game is going to be a low scoring game. I think Germán shows up in that game. But the Yankees lose both games. And I'm fine with that.
So, all right. I like it's at Citi Field, by the way. I know you said at the stadium before. I don't know if you meant specifically.
Sorry, I meant to say Citi Field.
Yeah, all good. And then, so give me a prediction quickly here. The odds aren't out on DraftKings yet on home run stats because we're recording this on Monday night. Who's going yard? Who's going yard for either team here? We got some big bats in the lineup here. The obvious answers of Judge and Alonso. If you want to take those out, who's going yard? Who's making a splash in the Subway?
Matty C
earning more stripes for himself in Subway Series?
If he gets at bats, he's hitting home runs. That's just how it is at this point. And we talked about getting rid of Gallo. Just put Matty C wherever he fits in the offense, so we figure it out from there.
Andrew, who's going yaya?
Stanton, and he's going to sit on my face afterwards.
All right. Hell yeah. I love that energy, right? It's been a heat wave in the New York City area. I'm hoping that heat wave persists, baby.
Yikes.
If we have that type of energy, I want it to be steamy. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be crazy out there in Queens on Tuesday night. I'm saying, he just got some hate from Andrew before, rightfully so. He's been struggling. Eduardo Escobar going yard in a big moment, 7th inning or later for the Mets in the next 2 games. I'm feeling it. It's been a world of do for the Mets where it's like, we just need somebody to show up here. The offense looks anemic. Like, what's going to happen here? And those timely hits have been coming around all year for the Mets. I expect more of them. And I think Escobar can do just that, even though Pete Alonso tends to do it most often. Obviously, he's been a beast. All right, we don't have any more time, really. So let's just say goodbye on the Mets and Yankees front. We'll do a longer episode post-trade deadline when these teams are set up, finalized, ready to make a run, ready to finish the season strong. But real quick before we go, give me a 30-second reaction, Alec, on the MCU Comic-Con announcements. Anything jump out or general level of excitement?
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be hyped to have 2 Avengers movies within 6 months of each other? Also, I have no idea if the new Black Panther is going to be good or not, but that was one of the best trailers I've ever seen in my entire life. The editing, both like the visually and the music editing in that, my God, come on! I mean, it was just unreal. So we'll see how that movie is, because there's a ton of controversy around, obviously, besides Bozeman, but just other stuff that happened with that production. So we'll see. But I mean, I'm hyped. 2 Avengers movies, 2 massive ones. Secret Wars, if you guys know anything about the comics, it was a gigantic event that they did like 3 different iterations of, and you have a lot to pull from there. So hyped about it.
Yeah, and Kang Dynasty. We didn't get, as regular fans, to see the updated Kang footage from Quantumania, but apparently he was just out there being menacing and freaking awesome, as Jonathan Majors is. So,
he's the best. Best.
Excited for some Kang action. Drew?
Yeah, absolutely. That Wakanda Forever trailer is just ridiculous, and I was just like, I actually got chills watching the trailer. Yep. I was like, the music was perfect, absolutely. I'm still a little. I'm excited about the aspect of 2 Avengers movies to cap off Phase 6 or whatever is in 2025 or whatever release date they pulled out of their ass there. But just, I just would like, I said in the group chat, I'd like to see a clearer direction of where the MCU is going. I feel like it's going to get there, but I mean, everything that we've seen so far has kind of just been one-off stories. I kind of want to get the ball rolling. So I'm excited to hopefully this is the start of that.
I think them putting the stamp on Wakanda Forever as being the end of Phase 4 is going to be a benefit to them to kind of close that door of post-Infinity Saga happenings and things that affected so directly and whatnot. Like, that's now the end of that. There's still going to be a drag of it with Quantumania and the new Guardians, I'm sure. But then the new door is open. The multiverse is open. The quantum realm is open. And I think that's what happened. So post-credit scene, I'm expecting something big, something juicy from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And just to reiterate, what a beautiful trailer. Amazing, amazing stuff. And I think D23 is like around the corner, the Disney upfront, if you will. There'll be some X-Men and or Fantastic Four casting announced there, is my guess. That's what the people on the streets and the Twitters are saying. So I'm excited for that. But man, it was just cool to see some of the breakout. There's some stuff that doesn't seem like the most exciting, like some shows I know we talked about, like Echo. Or do we really need that? Ironheart, we don't really know yet because we haven't seen her in action. But like a bunch of stuff is like unknown. Agatha, Coven of Chaos, we'll see what happens. But just so much stuff, and I'm excited for it. So I'm here, gonna stay locked in on the MCU. I'll probably watch She-Hulk and enjoy it too, to be quite honest.
Me too.
Here we are.
18 episodes of Daredevil too, with Charlie Cox. I love that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think he showed up at the end of the new She-Hulk trailer. So 2 Charlie Cox wins for the boys. All right. Subway Sports Talk, quick Subway Series episode for everyone there. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you for listening. As always, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcast app and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bells on YouTube, and, share the word. Share it out there. Let people know if you're liking Subway Sports Talk. Leave a comment. We appreciate that a whole lot. So thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Cheers.